What a beautiful day to begin with. Thank you so much for being with us. And today I am going to review Fishbowl Wives. It's not a matter of this generation, or we cannot say that it's a matter of this decade that now we are having this problem. It's way back few decades ago when everything started from the scratch, and that generation was building the country. So they shifted their priority from family to creating a good economy. Now you can see that the biggest the city is, the more problems they have, and some problems are just swept under the mat. And with the passage of time, if you are more materialistic or more capitalist, then the emotions will somewhere fade away. That's the life of Sakura. Sakura is, though from people's perspective it looks like, oh, she's living a glamorous life, her husband is very rich, they have a very big penthouse or condominium or apartment, and everything is good, they have salon, their business, and everything is perfect for them. But there is emptiness in her. The emptiness is that she really wants to have a family, the family that every ordinary woman really wanted to have. So with the passage of time, as the things moves on, first 2 or 3 decades, the human life focus more on developing themselves. As they get old, they really wanted to have a family, they really wanted to have kids, they really wanted to live the ordinary life. So all those women in that area, they are always busy gossiping about each other's life, while all of them were broken. Why? Because sometimes if you expect something from your relationship and not you give your best, and sometimes it's very important for both of them to sit at one table and discuss that this is our priority, this is what we are going to do. And if we are really focusing only on building ourselves materialistically, then we don't need to have kids. So that's their a very big concern of that generation as well, because of a low birth rate. Here also Sakura wanted to have a good family, but due to incident that happened in when she was few years back, and you could see that there is a cross relation or cross reference with another story, that the person she met, and that person was selling goldfish. So sometimes in our life we really need to cleanse ourselves with the thoughts of that salt, and sometimes it's very harsh, and because it's a reality. But we have to understand that things really need a time, and sometimes you have to give each other time to develop. Sometimes you really need to understand and focus, because sometimes people, especially the society, sometimes give you this vision, okay, you have to have your you if you really wanted to get married, you have to be financially secure, you need a condominium, apartment, house, car, everything. So everything that you really wanted for a family, you have to put them on the table and then say, yes, I need a wife. But sometimes we don't consider what the other person really needs. So all these women, those who are in this series, they depict the society, that what's happening in their life. Some they do have children, but they don't have a time. Some their priorities were something else. So it's important for us also to learn from this, because all, especially Tokyo is a very big country, big city, and a capital, number one capital, also, and very expensive. The more expensive the city is, the more expensive their life is, and the challenges. So if you could see their working hours, you will be shocked that how they are working like robotics. So how can they give each other a time? So that was a dilemma of the society, and they really wanted to highlight these women. If you really wanted to put them like a souvenir in the house, it will never happen, because you really wanted kids, you really wanted a healthy life, so you have to be the part of the family. It's mandatory to work, but what is the gain if you will lose your family at the end of the day by having all these materialistic things? And for what? That happened with other people also. So some people, they focus more on having all these things, but they are emotionally dried away. Why? Because the time has come. Sometime it is important, like if you are working 8 to 5 and you are very busy doing all these things, all you, if you see them, because I know from the cross cultural study that I am telling you, because I was very next to a guy, the Japanese guy was sitting here, and the Korean guy was sitting here, and I can understand that there are many. So sometimes you need to step back, don't assume, don't create any misconception or something, and then you have to understand that what the life is, what their society is, what their culture is, what the people think. So if you are creating a generation that really works 8 to 5, studies very wisely, everything is superb, but that beauty sometimes withered away with the passage of time. Why? Because at the end of the day they find out that, oh, we are meant to be human and we really need to be productive, right? We have to have our own generation which will expand, so that we will be very happy having kids around us. So there is always, okay, if you really wanted to let the people focus on working a lot, you have to give them a specific time for their family, for loved ones, because sometimes people, as they grow more mature, they said, oh, even we will have kids, we have multiple responsibilities with us, somebody has to look after us. So they are not born with the vision of prioritizing these things, because okay, they could be very good at workspace, but does it mean that they are really good at as a husband? Does it mean that they really are good as a someone who really needs to help a spouse? It doesn't mean that she will just cook for you and you just don't give your best. So sometimes there is some, I believe that sometimes it's very important that we should come out of that circle. That's why people travel abroad. They really wanted to explore other cultures, to have a fresh breath of all these things. Sakura did the same. She was in that toxic relationship, and once she came out of it, she had a very fresh breath of a new life. Though she was not what she was, because okay, you are having a beautiful house, everything is. So what is the use when everything is so empty and no one is in the house? Even you don't have kids also. So there are plenty of things that the society from the older generation, they really wanted you to do it, have kids, same like that, develop yourselves. But at the end of the day, even 1 year or 2 year, they will keep questioning. That's our Asian society, and it works like that. Even some people, they get married and the very first question our elders, or they ask that when you are going to give us a good news about the baby. So these are the things that they really wanted to highlight here. No matter they have shown that whatever is going on, it's a part of the story, because once you are really broken, you really need to find a new hope. Sometimes they switch from one relationship to another, but at the end of the day, you have so many challenges to understand. There are like sometimes in-laws are not having a good relationship with the bride, and there are some there are many things that they don't even like. Every culture is similar. There are some things that happen in the in-laws or also. So sometimes you really need to understand that with the passage of time, things have changed, things are totally different, and we have to give our best to create a very healthy family. I think I'm talking a lot. Thank you so much for bearing, and have a great watch, and you will really learn something good out of it. And it's always not to focus solely on your business or your work. It's best for your survival, but it's not a permanent solution to your happiness. The happiness comes when you are sitting at the one dining table with your own family and having a good meal. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Take your loved ones. Stay safe. We'll talk it about later. Bye bye.